Hey YouTube, this is Kamisha Corinne here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is actually my first YouTube video and I'm really excited about starting this channel. Kinda nervous, but mostly really excited about this channel. I really want to share my journey on YouTube as well because I do feel like there's value in other people's story, and I think you can always learn and even grow within yourself by watching other people and learning from their mistakes and also learning from their successes. So I really hope that this channel can be an inspiration or even provide any type of value to your life. I'm very open to any kind of videos that you guys will want in the future. Just a little bit about myself first is I am originally from Mississippi, but I am currently living here in Dallas, Texas, which I love Dallas, Texas. And I am a part-time registered nurse in California, and I am also a day trader. In addition to, I have a side hustle business, Turo business, which I do that on the side. But as you can see from this title, today we're going to be talking about how I passed phase 1 of my Secure the Bag funding challenge. And I just want to show you how, being funded is very possible. It does take a lot of patience, it does take a lot of discipline, but it's 100% possible. I've been funded before in the past. I've also had a payout before in the past, and unfortunately also lost an account in the past. So it's very hard. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, even if you're consistently profitable in your personal account, these challenges, they have rules set in place that makes it a little bit more difficult to pass and even maintain your funded account, especially if that's not the way you trade on your personal account. So, but like I said before, it's very doable. You just have to have a lot of patience and a lot of discipline. So I'm really excited to start this channel. If there's any other content that you guys would like to see, just let me know in the comment section and I will get that going. So let's get to those charts, okay? Hey you guys, so here we are at the Secure the Bag trading dashboard. I do want to go over a few requirements and details of the account before I dive into the charts. So here you see that we have a $300,000 challenge account, and it is in phase 1 and is connected to MT4. You do have an option to connect to MT5 if you would like, but I chose MT4 because that's what I'm most comfortable with. And so here you see that this is the progression of the account. I do want to note that the lowest this account ever got was to $286,000, which is about roughly $14,000 in drawdown. And so I'll explain like the max loss and daily loss in a minute. So we have the gold meter here, and I think this is one of the most important aspects of this trading dashboard because it lays out the requirements for passing the challenge and failing the challenge. So here we see that there's a profit target goal of $30,000, which is 10% of this 300,000. And I did go over just a little bit because I manually closed this trade. But overall, I met that profit target of $30,000. Here you have the daily loss limit of $15,000, which if you remember, I told you that I was down at least $14,000. I'm not sure if that was a one-day drawdown or was it a max drawdown, but you do have to take note that you cannot go you cannot go more than $15,000 in drawdown in one day, or else you will fail this challenge. So that is very important to keep note of. Also, here you have the maximum loss, and the maximum loss is 10% of the account, which is $30,000. So it's very important to make sure that you don't exceed the daily loss and you don't exceed the maximum loss. So for example, you can have a daily loss of $10,000 one day, and that's okay. You can have a daily loss of $10,000 the next day. That's okay. But say the third day you have a daily loss of $11,000. That means that you have a maximum loss of $31,000, which means that you've breached the account and you will fail the challenge. So it is important to be very aware of these daily loss limits and also the maximum loss limits. Right here you have the active trading days. At minimum, you have to actively trade in your account for 5 days. It took me 10 days with this account simply because I am an intraday trader, so I have to wait a little bit longer for my setups. And you have to understand that depending on what kind of trader you are, you may get the challenge done in one day, or you may hit the profit target in day 4 or day 5, or it could potentially take you the full 35 days, which you do have a full 35 days to complete this challenge. So my biggest advice for anyone that's trying to pursue a funded account is to take your time. Just because that 5-day minimum is there, that does not mean you need to rush the process. Take your time, be patient, wait on your setups, and just keep in mind that you do have a full 35 days. All right, so moving along here, the win rate and loss rate. I had a 52% win rate and a 48% loss rate, and I placed 23 trades within this 10-day active trading period. So those are a little bit of details about the dashboard itself. I do want to show you that I traded one pair, and with that one pair I placed 2 trades, and that's what pretty much essentially allowed me to pass this challenge. My account went to $290,000 to $330,000 with just these 2 trades. And if I go to account history, I'll show you like a little bit of detail about these trades here. Okay, so here, these are the 2 trades that took my account from 290K to 330K. I opened them both on the 27th at different times because there are different opportunities in the market to open a position, and then I both closed them out on the 28th. They both were 15 lot positions, totaling one for 24,000 and the next one for 18,000. So those 2 trades alone pretty much took my account from negative to hitting my take profit. So here, let's go to the charts now. Okay, so now we're here on the charts, and I'm going to break down those last 2 trades that essentially took my account from 290K to 330K in a matter of just like a day. So I'm going to do a top-down analysis here. I'm going to start off with the daily and work my way down to my entry time frame and just walk you through my thought process when it came to this. So here you see on the daily that UJ is in a bullish trend, and if I zoom in to the current candle that was happening on Thursday, you can see that there's a lot of bullish momentum in this candle. I also took note that the previous candle closed as like a doji, but it had tons of sellers exhaustion, and I could tell by this huge wick here. And so this candle also, on the Thursday candle, also made a wick as well, also pushing up in a bullish way. Therefore, once I saw this, I knew that I was looking for a buy. I just had to go down to like my lower time frames to find a good entry point. Okay, so here we are on the 4-hour time frame, which was beautiful. I saw structure the clears on this time frame, and I'm going to point out some reasons as to why. So here I was able to draw a trend line because this is point A, point B. And so I was able to draw a trend line here, and price ended up testing this trend line for a 3rd time and respecting it. And so this just was a more of a confirmation that price was going to push up. Also, I saw where the 4-hour candle closed very bullish. It gave me also a bullish variation in addition to all this seller's exhaustion at the bottom, which is shown here with this wick. So with this alone, I knew that price would pretty much push up. I just had to find my entry point. So here I went down to the 1 hour time frame. And the 1 hour time frame pretty much just confirmed it further that price was going to push up. So I do want to note here that the lower the time frames go, the more drawings and technicals you will see on my charts, because I do get more precise as the time frames decrease. So here you do see this 1 hour zone that I have drawn here. Price did respect this as resistance, eventually broke through, and now price was testing it again as a level of support. So we had already had that 4 hour touch here of this trend line. What I was really looking for now is some type of retracement back down to test this zone, because if I enter the market right here off of that 4 hour candle, this would be a huge stop loss, about an 82 pip stop loss, and I just wasn't willing to set my stop loss that much. So I just wanted to wait for a little bit of a retracement in order to get in the market, because higher time frames had already confirmed that we were going to push up. So went down to the 30-minute time frame. Like I said, the lower the time frames, the more drawings you'll see. So I do have this 30-minute lower time frame zone here, which could be 30-minute or 15-minute on my charts, but this is a lower time frame zone, and price was respecting this zone again as a level of resistance. So again, I'm looking for price to go down to this 1 hour zone in order for me to get in on an entry. So I'm just going to play this out here and just show you the process of me entering the market. Okay, so right here, before this bullish candle, this huge bullish candle, I want you to notate the candle before that, and it did come to test this zone. And like I said before, I was just looking for a retracement down to test that zone so I can get in for an entry, and that's exactly where I enter. Once that candle, the 30-minute candle closed, I entered the market and I set my stop loss under this low, which was about 48 pips stop loss, which I'm okay with because I am an intraday trader and I knew my risk to reward was really good. So I was willing to risk those 48 pips for a bigger reward. So here I got into the market and let's just see how it plays out. Okay, I do just want to stop here and show where this trend line came from. So this was point A and point B, and so that formed my lower time frame trend line, which is this purple. And price was still coming back to test this 1 hour zone. So that's what's going on here, which this is the part that I was in drawdown, and I held on to my trade because it was still giving me some seller's exhaustion when it would close. So I was confident in that, in the trade still. All right, bam. So it did go down to draw down a little bit more, but overall it never broke this low, which was very promising for me that price will continue to push up. And once price pushed up, it pushed past and it broke past this trend line. And so right now I was able to draw a fib structure because I wanted to measure the retracement, because I knew that price would eventually come down to test either this lower time frame zone or this trend line, and I was essentially looking for a second opportunity here. So let's just see if the market gives it to me. All right, so bam, here we go. Price came back, retested the zone and retested the trend line. So those were two confirmations for me to enter a second position, and that's where I entered my second 15 lot position. So we're going to play this trade out some more. All right. So I do want to show you this, right? And I want to go back before that bullish push up. And I want to show you how price wicked all the way down back to test this 1 hour zone, which I was completely prepared for. I knew price would either test this 4 hour trend line or this 1 hour zone. So when price actually came down to test this area again, I wasn't too worried. Honestly, I was not worried at all, simply because I knew a high impact news was coming out and it would have a lot of volatility will happen in the market. But as long as my structure was maintained and my levels were not broken, which this was the level I was looking overall not to be broken, and this one as well. So as long as those levels weren't broken, then I knew that my trades were still valid. So this is what required a lot of patience here and just being very confident in your analysis. Because if I would have closed the trade here just because of this wick down, and I would have closed both of my trades, it would have resulted in a loss, and then it would have went in my favor, and I would have been very upset. So I end up keeping both of these positions open through that. Overall, that first position was in drawdown 60 pips. But in that in that first position was in drawdown about 10 pips. So overall, it wasn't a significant amount of drawdown, but you have to keep in mind that my daily loss limit was $15,000, which my account never reached that point. So I was still in the safe zone when it came to that. So let's just see how this trade continued to play out. All right. So you can see the price shot all the way up, and essentially it shot up to my TP level, which was, like I said before, was set at negative 61.8%. I also want to go over the maximum risk to reward. So here, like I said before, I was willing to risk about 48 pips, and my profit target was 280 pips with a risk to reward ratio of 5.86, which is pretty darn good. And that's why when my account was in drawdown during the news, I wasn't worried because I knew that overall my reward was much greater. So I hope you're able to take away something from this video. I am going to be recording my trades for phase 2. I have not started phase 2 yet. I'm just waiting till the market gives me, some valid trade setups, but I do plan on recording that and posting that on YouTube as well. Like I said, I'm really excited about this YouTube journey, and if there is anything that you guys need help with or just anything that you want me to go more into detail on, just let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That will really help me out, just so I know that this is something that you guys want to see more of. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.